Scottish Highlander, if you can imagine, it'd be a very fluffy cow. When it rains or snows, it doesn't even go underneath that long guard hair. That's protection, it's for the wind and everything. And they have a big, long tail that's just fluffy as anything else is as well. Their tongue is very coarse, like a big cat's tongue. They have a hoof like any other cow, and so they've got massive set of horns as they keep going that they're very good with.
There's black, there's reds of various shades. There's a brownish color that they call a dun, and then there's kind of two versions of white. Graham is what they call a blonde. He's born white with a pink nose, and the color sort of gets a yellowish tinge as they mature. Ophelia, born kind of that grayish silver color with a dark nose, and she'll whiten out over time, and that's what they would call a silver.
I'm Jim Archer, and this is Elk Ravine Farm. About a 2-hour drive away from the buildings, concrete, and hustle of New York City, there is the quiet, peaceful, and beautiful town of Amenia. Tucked away on over 90 acres of picturesque pastures, meadows, and woods is Elk Ravine Farm. We have a diversity of low wetlands, and it ranges up into a pine forest and it goes up into hardwoods. So it does gain a lot in altitude, but we have a diversified habitat here.
We couldn't ask for a nicer place to be, quite honestly. We are very fortunate to be where we are.
Back in 1999, we were going to get into raising Rocky Mountain elk because at the time they were harvesting the antler that is full of vitamins, minerals, and all these nutrients, and chronic wasting disease was coming from the west, and it was showing up in western New York, and I knew it was only a matter of time. So what we decided to is just change directions, and we sold them and got into draft horses, and then we started in with the cattle. I fenced it in and cleared certain areas, the backfields we cleared and stuff. Right now there's 40 head of cattle here, 9 horses, so that's quite a bit. Die! Come on, boys, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on. Those are Belgian draft horses. All those guys that you've seen in there, they've come off of a show hitch, so they've had a good life. They're very well educated, so when I get them, they know what we're doing, and we can go out and enjoy them and have fun and hook them up to all the various vehicles that we have. And there's no training involved. If anything, they're teaching us how to handle larger hitches in terms of driving 4. Eventually want to have 6 of them going out all at once. Charlie doesn't consider himself to be a cow. He's always been assimilated with us. He doesn't need a fence around him. That's why he's able to be turned loose.
You are a free boy.
Graham, when he was born, his mother didn't even lick him. He had fluid in his lungs. He was hypothermic, and we were able to rush him to the vets and save his life.
He had a plasma transfusion, antibiotics, some IV dextrose just to kind of get his body up and going. Prognosis was questionable, and he has just thrived entirely. He's been kind of our little miracle calf.
It's something I really don't want to do, is to take him off the mother. I'd rather have the mother raise him. Mother does a much better job than I can ever do, but you do what's necessary. You're always looking over the babies and making sure that they don't have any health issues, because nobody's coming up to you and telling you what's feeling wrong. Did you give Olivia her med?
Yep, she's all set.
Any better?
She got up a little easier and went walking off to nurse. She's still stiff, but she got up a lot easier than she did yesterday.
this is 95 pounds. He said anywhere from 75 to 100. So we're still
in his
right
range,
there.
And for the 3 days of the injectables, we're probably fine, but we might want to weigh her after a week or two and just make sure we haven't shot over the 100 for the pills.
I guess I'll call the vet practice and let them know. Well, the Scottish Highland cattle, either they're going to end up somebody's pasture pet or they do the environmental grazing.
They have their own job, some conservation work for some endangered species. They also eat some invasive species. So either way, it's a benefit to the environment and to the land that they're on.
With the cattle being in there, they go in there, they eat that tall vegetation, stuff that's not native, that's coming in. Every kind of wildlife is benefiting from it that we're wanting to encourage to be on these areas. If we can do it right, it's preventing organizations or people using herbicides.
It really is a wonderful thing. You can see the difference inside a fence and outside a fence. Outside there's like Phragmites, there's invasives, everything's grown up tall. Inside the fence where the cattle are, everything's kind of low, the sunlight gets in, full of butterflies, songbirds. They kind of create their own paradise in there, and it's really neat to see.
They stay on the grazing site from May until probably just before the snow flies. And then we bring them home. We'll bring the whole herd home here soon.
The hardest season for these guys is definitely summer, because they're sort of in a winter coat year-round. As long as they've got plenty of good food, they produce the heat they need, and they definitely produce the insulation they need.
It takes a lot of work to have them tame and quiet, and where you can do certain things with them, especially like Charlie and Graham. I tell people when they come here, don't go to some farm and think, hey, look, there's Charlie and Graham, because this is not the norm.
We want to provide people with what they want to see and do. If someone's got an interest in, they just started brushing cattle and they love it, just brush away, enjoy it as much as you want.
It's all catered to what people want to do. You know, if somebody wants to spend the whole time with the cows, we'll spend the whole time with the cows. If they want to go out for a nice viewing out of a carriage, a countryside view, we do that. We'll go out even longer if they want to do that the majority and then come back. So we're going to go, these guys are our Belgian draft horses, and it's Jim and Reese. I did not name the one that has the same name as me. It came that way. Jim, Reese, step up. We're lucky around here, we're still able to drive over the roads with the horses, with the carriage. At one time, when I first started, I had Rocky Mountain elk. Wow. And there's a ravine that runs right through. It's a gorge where the stream comes down that crosses the driveway. So hence the reason.
Elk Ravine.
Elk Ravine.
To me, the education is big. It's nice to come and see a cow, and it's nice to pet a cow, but for someone to come and to leave with an understanding of what the animal is like, what it needs to live, how it thrives, how they are a benefit in terms of the environment and the environmental grazing, it's not something a lot of people think about. We all love to see a beautiful natural landscape, and you can appreciate something so much more when you have an understanding of the background and the work and the different factors involved.
You know, with all the stuff going on in this country and in this world now with pollution and everything going on, they better protect it. You know, there's so many things, and if they don't protect it now, it's all going to be lost. You know, I keep telling the younger generation, we're counting on you to figure something out because all the older generations let it slip through.
What I love most about Jim is probably his love for animals and the way he loves animals. He loves them for what they are and not for what we want them to be. When he looks at an animal, he wants what's best for the animal.
Anybody that loves animals and the environment and everything, they're usually always really good people. And you can always have a lot to learn from each other.
We're farming together. We're more or less side by side all the time.
Everything's easier when you do it together.
It's a labor of love. We're both here because we love doing it. It's a quiet rhythm of life, quiet but productive. There's never a day that goes by you said, oh, nothing happened today. But a lot of people don't know the day in and day out. It's a job. There's no vacation from it. There's not a day off.
It is a lot of work. When you have animals, it's 24/7. Your time is not your own. In the wintertime, you're out feeding when it's below zero and the wind's blowing and everything. You've got to be out there. You don't eat till they eat. You know, you take care of them.
There's nothing that you can say, I don't feel like doing that today with, because they have their needs and we're here to meet them.
If you want to do this, that's fine. But it definitely alters your lifestyle, that's for sure. I wouldn't want it any other way.